defense for basketball is just going down the wrong path. It's not even nowhere near as good as it was before. Not even 9 years ago. Since to me, and I was young, but when you was if you watch basketball at around this time and you looked at the stats, around 2013 is when Steph Curry like kind of entered the discussion to one of the best point guards in the league. I mean, it was his second year as an all-star. His first year as an all-star, he was averaging about 23 and 7, 23 and 8. So he kind of started entering the some of the best guards in the league discussion. So since that time, from that time, I believe the highest amount of threes attempted was 46K for all teams put together. And just 9 years later, last year in 2022, 86,000 threes were attempted, bro. So they doubled the amount just in 9 years. So when I go back and look, right, halfway to the year, we're not even halfway to the year this season, and we're at 40K threes attempted, man. So we almost halfway to what we were last year. So and it went from 20K steals for the whole entire year and almost 12K blocks to last year 17K steals and 10K blocks. So it's a whole decrease in 2,000 steals and 2,000 blocks. The whole thing about all them threes going up is that the pace is some of the slowest it has ever been since going back to the 90s. So all them threes being chucked up is being that like maybe every possession or every 2 possessions a 3-pointer is going up. Not even a 2. A 3-pointer is going up every 1-2 possessions in an NBA game. And with that, and everyone being able to shoot nowadays, and the game being more skilled, it's much harder to guard and cover ground, especially when the spacing is like that. If your 1 through 5 can shoot, how is people supposed to be able to play defense if 1 through 5 can shoot? You know, you can't leave no one open. You got to be there every time. So these guys are getting lazier and lazier. And on top of that, we've seen all of the games, the outscoring games and breaking games that have been scored. We see D-Mitch 71. Luka just had 50 3 times in the span of like 10 days. We've seen a lot of things. More points were scored in December of last year, 2022, then more 40-point games were scored that year than the whole 2012-13. There was about 35 40-point games in 2012-2013. There were 47 in the month of December of just last year. And the defensive rating went from in 2013 to 106 to currently 112. And we're just almost halfway to the season. So that means the defensive rating is only going to go higher. It's probably going to finish out this season with an average of 116, 117, and that's a whole 10-point decrease from what was in back in 2013, man. It went from in 2013 22 threes per game per team to 36 currently this year, man. This is just going up, man. The steals per game is going down. The defensive rating is going down. We're seeing less defensive players in the league. We're seeing less defensive being played. I just seen earlier that the lowest defensive rating in the league currently is 110, and that's by the Cleveland Cavaliers. The lowest defensive rating most of the time through years is either between 105 to 107 in that range. Just 9 years ago in 2013, the Memphis Grizzlies had a 99.8 defensive rating. So that lets you know right there that defense is just going down the wrong path because Steph Curry chose to impact the game in a way where everyone needs to shoot the 3-pointer, which is crazy. Everyone is shooting the 3-pointer nowadays from 1 through 5. It's harder to guard these more skilled players who can dribble the ball and shoot the 3. So it's like the defense is just becoming slouchier and slouchier in the NBA, man.
I think the defense just over with at this point of the game, bro. Down draft for it. You know, you got so many players coming at them from 1 year in college. You know, one and done. Like, what type of defense you ever really just had? You know what I mean? High school, you the best player on your team. What defense you got to have? You going up there, you shoot. College, you there 1 year. You ain't really learn how to, like, they barely know how to play team ball if they ain't already like a high IQ somebody that pass like that, you know. And that's why, like, back in the day, like, when you went to college and you played 3-4 years in college, bro, you was a better team player, you was a better defensive player, you know, all that. Even in more like kind of like recent time where you had people going those years like D Wade,
Mikal Bridges,
Tim Duncan,
even Mikal Bridges, guys like Mikal Bridges too play good defense. But yeah, you right, Tim Duncan. Michael Jordan did 2-3 years. Kareem did the full 4 years. Guys who could play defense, man.
Yeah, unless you was like one of them guys like KG. Yeah, there was a different era. You know, he came straight out of high school, and that was the mentality. You had to be a dog, play defense, all that shit. You know, you playing against motherfuckers like Jordan, like that. That's why, like now, when I see it, you know, basketball, like now they rather go tit for tat than actually stop somebody.
Yeah, definitely.
And that was the thing, like with Kobe. Like look at the picture of damn Jordan and Kobe. Like I know that ain't the real John, but like that's really what they doing. When Jordan played you, he wasn't trying to let you get off on me. I'm not trying to let you score 30. No, I'm trying to score 30. You gonna score 15. You gonna score 20. Like that's how that was their mentality. Now LeBron, like, you know, or the dudes playing LeBron, they like, man, LeBron gonna score 40, man. I'm gonna score 40, and people gonna think I'm just as good as him. You know what I mean? I can pass and all that shit. They going tit for tat. Like, nah, Jordan, I'm stopping you. You're not about to be seen like you just as good as me. Like, nah, stop it. It's over with. You might get your little shine and shit like that. Kobe, oh, nah, that's over with. Shut these niggas down. You seen what he did, Kyrie? Nah, nigga. It's over with. LeBron, nigga, even in All-Star game, nigga, nah, it's over with. That's just how they do it. That's their spirit. That's cool. We gonna dap it up after the game.
We definitely we like that. We like seeing offense, but we also love seeing defense. We love seeing players because to be honest, I know you could probably agree on this. Anyone could go out there and score a basket. Anyone could score a layup. You know, not everyone can play defense. That's why defense wins the games. That's why the best defensive team is. Now, listen. We talked about the Detroit Pistons. They were one of the worst offensive in the league when they won a championship. But guess what? They were number one on defense. And this goes into the point where you have to have a top 10 defense to win a championship. But you can have a lower offense. Your offense doesn't even have
the Bulls with D Rose in them.
Yeah.
When they had what's the bull name? He the Knicks coach now. Okay. What's his name?
Oh, the Knicks coach? Oh, Tom Thibodeau.
Yeah, Thibodeau, man. He used to be a cold defensive coach.
Yeah,
he don't even implement that like defense like that now. He was a couple years ago, but
that's a good
point.
You
know, it's whatever. Like,
and the thing is that was really the last really good year of defense I felt like we had somewhere between 2012 and 2013 because we had Memphis. Even LeBron was playing very good defense just 9 years ago. We see how he plays defense now. He's a slouch. He's one of the worst superstar defenders in the league. He lets people do whatever they want. And I get don't get me wrong. I get he's older. But it's like he's out there not playing defense.
This has been happening before he turned 30. It's been happening for about 4 or 5 years.
Exactly. 4 or 5 years now. Back in 2018.
Even more than that.
Yeah, 2017 actually, when he didn't want to guard Kevin Durant in the finals. When he told Richard Jefferson to take on that task. And again, I get the fact that LeBron is an offensive player. He has a lot to do. He has to score the rock. He has to pass the rock. But he told Richard Jefferson to go out there and do that. Michael Jordan wasn't doing that. He was guarding those players. You know, if he wanted to do that task, he was going out there guarding. He was dropping 30, 35 a game and guarding the best player. Kobe Bryant was going there, dropping how much ever he wants a game and going there and guarding the best player. Another thing I want to add on is that through the 90s, the 10 years through the 90s, it was a 105.5 defensive rating, and compared to now in the last 10 years, we had 111.5 just in the last 10 years. So that's let you know how much, and the paces are around the same. So the only difference is that it was probably about like somewhere near between 20 to 25K threes going up compared to, obviously I said the 86K threes going up now. So that was the only difference. The pace is around the same. The only thing is that people were actually playing defense. This was one-on-one defense too, ladies and gentlemen. No zone at all. This was one-on-one. If you get beat, you get beat. This was some of the hardest defenses came out of this league. You know, it was implemented in this league. There was no, like I said,
talk to him.
You had to play one-on-one. You had to play one-on-one defense in this league. No zones. There was no helping. And yes, like there's some guys who can play defense today, but there's a lot of guys who wouldn't be able. They would get killed on the island by Michael Jordan or even Scottie Pippen or I'll even go ahead and throw someone like Shaq in there. Imagine going one-on-one with Shaq in the post. You think, no disrespect, again, AD, boy.
Giannis. Don't make me do it. Don't make me do it.
No disrespect to these guys, man. Yo, Jokic is getting killed 1v1 on the island without help with Shaquille O'Neal there, man. It's like, come on, man. How? And I love Steph, man. I really do. But look what you did. You feel me? You got people focusing on more.
Oh yeah, Steph will get killed too. Yeah, bring it up.
He would. Steph will get destroyed, and that's why I refer to him as more of a good help defender. That's the only reason why. But if he's 1v1 on that island, Steph Curry is getting demolished, man.